A24, they typically produce movies that are like really out there, like Swiss Army Man. Like that movie would never get made. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Just let's read somebody who doesn't know anything about Swiss Army Man and tell them about the premise. They would laugh at you. But when they make these movies, they're so out there. They're beloved.
That's
they're
their
so
shtick.
people. That's their shtick. Yeah, people are so it's like this is such a breath of fresh air from the typical corporate.
Right.
We have to stick within the box, and then people love the movies for that. Disney, I guess, doesn't have the balls to go A24 for a Star Wars movie, and
Which
it can
is
have
so odd.
It can be recognizable. Like it has all the staples, but like the core of it needs to be like completely different from any other Star Wars movie.
Which is so odd, you know? But that's why they make moves like buying a fair share of Hulu. That's why they make moves of buying Fox, 20th Century Fox. That's why they do those types of things in order to, because they know, but they don't have, like you said, they don't have the balls to be like, we're going to put the Disney stamp on this. Make it a 20th Century Fox production and we'll just distribute it for you. That type of shit. A24 is like, and I don't think A24 produces every single one of their films. I think that they just, I think they distribute more often than but I don't know. I don't know the numbers, but I think that they distribute more than they produce. When you think of A24, you think of them as producers or distributors?
I think of them as distributors or maybe even funders, but
Yeah.
they're more willing to fund more out there projects. Artsy, it's very
'Cause that's
artsy.
their niche.
Whoever's the head of A24, they love artsy. You bring someone in there who's like fresh out of some kind of bougie. Have you seen the new Candyman?
Well, no,
Like
not the new
A24
one. Not the new one.
Oh, okay. Damn. But yeah, the whole premise of the new one was like the main character was an artist, and they were connected to the art world in Chicago, and it's like real bougie. It's like real bougie. It's like they pull up, and it's like, it's an art show, and it's just super bougie. Like all the bougie black people is there. Anybody black and bougie you can imagine goes to these art shows. But I don't want to get too into that. But that's how I imagine A24. Like they're just like they look for the most artsy but also out there concepts, and they'll fund the movie.
And sadly, that whole niche that they fit themselves into, which is a great niche, by the way, because they're making the movies, like you said, that no one, it's literally is a breath of fresh air when you go to see an A24 movie, because no one is making the movies that they're making. But it kind of sucks that as a result of that, they're looked to as like indie film production. They're not. It's not. It's just not big fucking like $70 million, $100 million movies that are being made. It's just like, but they're still big budget films. Like, if you're spending millions of dollars on a fucking movie, do you understand? You're spending millions of dollars on a movie. If me and you were to make a movie, if anybody from, born to anybody was to be making a movie, it would cost, we would be under $5,000, at least under $10,000. I think that's a hard limit. Like,
I'm thinking more skit. The plot would have to be really scaled down and be more grounded, because we cannot afford to spend all this money on VFX. Like it would have to be a much more grounded plot that can.
I really wish that indie films were made at the level, but they're not indie. But I'm saying, like, I guess they're indie because they're not signed to any. I don't know how it works, but I wish that it was more commonplace still to be like, all right, that's fine. We can still take a chance on this movie. You can always have an Everything Everywhere at Once. Look at the fucking numbers. But like we said with Disney, like I think that they have a reputation to uphold, and how does it fit the brand? How can we chop this down? How can we bust it down and make it this, and that? Like, can we spin off things from this? The cinematic universe is huge right now. So can we make this into a universe? Will we be able to make prequels, sequels, trilogies?
Yeah, Disney has proven. And see, now that we're talking about it, I realize like me asking that question didn't even make any sense, because Disney has proven they do not care about originality. They are literally remaking all of their old classics when they had some actual originality. That's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. Is they're either expanding some existing IP like Star Wars or Marvel, or they're just remaking old shit that nobody really wants to see.
And they put out a couple of animated movies a year.
Yeah, they put out a couple of new ones, but they don't hit like that. At least I don't think they do.
They be hitting like that though. If you count awards,
why not focus on it then?
That's just not their brand anymore, man. I think that the brand right now is, and not just Disney. I think the brand of content right now, the whole model is get as much content as fucking possible out to the universe.
And it's a lot easier if you don't have to do all that drafting. You just know what it is and you get started on it. You don't. Have
Why
to
do you
build a
think that they
universe.
always dial into their catalog?